for round 2. We're going to check this white chocolate gelato out.
Look at all these pretty cupcakes they have. And macaroon. Macaroon. Oh, it's so pretty.
She's decorating for us like she did last time. Ready to dig in. Is it? Are you excited to eat some white chocolate gelato?
Yummy, yummy in my tummy.
It's so funny because they actually offer complimentary ice cream options in the buffet. It's only like, they have a nice assortment. Have like vanilla chocolate,
Like kiwi, strawberry,
sometimes pistachio,
raspberry, rum raisin.
Yep.
They have a lot of different options. But nothing beats gelato.
It's fine like this?
This is absolutely magnificent. You are the absolute best.
You are. Look at that.
Look at that presentation. Gorgeous.
Down in Victoria, Canada, so we're about to actually hit the balcony to see what the views are. We were watching when we were kind of pulling in, so we want to see what's out here. So let's go. Lito made a little monkey for us right here. It's so cute. Lito is the best stateroom steward ever. He's awesome. He's awesome. He's so nice and friendly.
Views from the 6. Little Drake in there. So it looks like we're on the other end of the scenic views. So this is all that we see thus far. But once we get off,
that was kind of close, wasn't
show
it?
you guys more. It was actually very close.
Y'all, so when I was younger, I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, but when I was younger and taking these cruises, these seagulls that are passing by, we used to go to the buffet upstairs. Babe, you gonna let me hear this. I don't think I've ever told you this. We used to go upstairs to the buffet. We used to get cookies and bread, and we used to throw it out the balcony so the seagulls can catch it. That's you have no words. You like frozen FaceTime. I know, it's bad. You know, we used to do that. But you know what? That's probably why they have these signs up here now because of me. It's on the other side. Right here. These signs.
Is she talking about the no smoking on the balcony sign? Or is it this sign?
You can't throw things over or something like that. Or maybe not.
No, it does not. But I'll be sure to go down to guest services and tell them to add this because we have people that throw things.
No, don't do that. No, that was my younger days. That was years and years and years ago. Babe, that was before you and I even met. I was like a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
But we used to do that. And when I say we had tons of seagulls around us just waiting for us to drop those cookies, we had a good time. It was bad, but that's what we used to do. It was funny.
Hey, so what are you looking forward to in Victoria?
I
don't know why I keep saying the name like that. It just sounds so like royal.
It does sound
in
royal.
Victoria.
In Victoria.
Yeah, so what are you looking forward to in Victoria?
In Victoria. I'm not sure. I don't know what there is to do in Victoria. So we met the chef we met the chef, one of the chefs in the buffet. He's a real cool guy, and he was just telling us that we should really do a tour. In Victoria, they have a lot of history, so we might look into doing that. But I know you and I talked about a crab shack that we saw here, so might be, eating that crab. So we'll see. I don't know. I definitely want a souvenir. I always get a souvenir everywhere I go. So we do magnets and playing cards. So everywhere we go, we get a magnet and we get some playing cards. That's just to kind of show where we go. Shows where we go. So I definitely want those two things because those are automatic. And that's really it. Just want to kind of chill. We're not here that long. Here from 8 p.m. to midnight. Yeah. So
just because we're next door neighbors. We're next door neighbors. I don't know why I just said that in a tongue twisted kind of way, because it's not a tongue twister, but we're next door neighbors to Seattle. So
so it's like right across the bay.
Right across the bay. So we're scheduled to I don't even know if saying scheduled to get there is even the right phrase, but we're scheduled to get off of the ship at 7 a.m. So if I had to guess, as soon as we leave here at 11:59, probably gonna do a very slight cruise control / glide over to Seattle.
I don't even know if we're gonna glide. I think we're just gonna be, Atlanta traffic.
Yeah.
That's what I think we're gonna do when we get over there. It's gonna be
So who knows? It sounds like it's gonna take 7 hours to go.
It's probably not even 10 miles.
Not even 10 miles.
Maybe 20.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe 20 miles. Yeah. And a cruise ship, that's nothing.
Right.
That's nothing. But yeah, just overall, I've had a good time. I've had a really good time. I'm really sad that it's ending, because that means we gotta go back to reality.
Yeah. but for us, reality is great. So we have some more trips coming very soon.
Yeah, we're going on another trip in 2 weeks.
Yep. So
I'm happy about that.
The summertime is our time to definitely travel and just catch some scenic views. So we're very excited. So it's not over yet. It's actually just beginning.
It is.
So so we'll get out here shortly and see what we can get into. How's that sound?
Sounds lovely, baby.
Alrighty. I know, it's beautiful.
Babe, you gonna take me for a ride?
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Come on. Let me get in the car. Let me get in. To do. I think it's because we're here so late. So we're actually gonna head back to the ship. Babe, you ready to go back to the ship?
Yep.
So we're gonna head back to the ship and get some dinner and then call it a night. That'll be a wrap.
Sadly.
We are tired.
Very. We're going to really just hit the main focal points of giving you guys what you've been looking for, and that's the review of the NCL Norwegian Bliss. So I guess we're going to just go through day by day just to give you guys just a brief overview of how we enjoyed it, just different things from the food to the various stops and just the overall ship and our various experiences.
With the NCL, that's more of a freestyle cruise. We've been on Royal Caribbean, we've been on Carnival, and now Norwegian. Well, we did a Norwegian earlier, a couple of years ago. So we did another one this year because that was the best Alaskan Cruise that we saw that was offered. So we had to take it up. Then it was a brand new ship. So with Norwegian in general, if you want more chill, relaxed, not like all the hooping and hollering type of cruise, and Norwegian is your type of cruise. Like with Carnival, that is called a fun ship. And it is fun. There's always something going on that you're laughing at something, some type of audience participation type show is going on the pool deck. Like they had a hairiest man chest contest on Carnival. Those types of things going on.
Guys, so, who can do the most push-ups, you know? So those fun-filled things, you know, that just kind of gains the crowd participation and just kind of gets you really engaged. You know, with the Norwegian, it's, you know, as Q mentioned, it's very laid back. If you go on a lot of the other cruises, there's a certain dress attire for dinner. It wasn't really for the Norwegian. You kind of get, like, I could wear this and I have like a Nike dry fit on with like some sweatpants, and they won't really say anything to you, you know. Of course, if you're the type that likes to dress up, you know, bring your nice clothes because, you know, you can get your own little world dressing up and, you know, take nice pictures and things like that.
Yeah, they do still offer all the pictures and whatnot. They don't really have Captain's Night and things like that like Carnival does and Royal Caribbean does. They don't do those types of things. And so we brought dress clothes and didn't wear not one of them. It was crazy. So to each its own on that one. Another thing, it was okay, but you have to make reservations for literally everything on Norwegian. So if you wanted to go to a show or anything like that, you have to make reservations through your app or before you come, or on the screens they have in the hallways. However, you have to make reservations versus Carnival and Royal Caribbean, you just show up, you find your seat, or whatever the case may be. It's not like that. You have to make reservations. So that was pretty interesting. And also with the dinner. So with Carnival and Royal Caribbean, you have dinner time. You have an early dinner, like a 6 p.m., or you have a late dinner at 8:30. Well, on Norwegian, it's just you show up like a regular restaurant. Like if you're going to a restaurant in your hometown or whatever the case may be, it's just like that, where you go to the host, they put your name, you wait. We may have waited like 5 minutes or whatever the case may be, but it wasn't long. But still, you know, it's that same setup. But what we did before we got on the ship, under our cruise account before we got on the ship, we made reservations in different dining rooms. So even though we made reservations in these different dining rooms for different times, we still had to wait 5 minutes, which was kind of interesting to me. But I don't too much like that part. I like to have a dining time where you just go and you already know your table, you already know your waiter, and you build that relationship with your waiter throughout your cruise. You're going to see different waiters every time. You're not going to be able to make those connections with your waiter. So I kind of like that part where you get to see them every night. And you know, that relationship starts to build as the days go by. So you don't get the opportunity on Norwegian. You just, whoever, you know, whatever table you go to and whoever's serving you, that's just who you're going to have.
I totally agree. Being that we've been on various brand of ships, it is always good to experience across the entire spectrum, you know, whether it be the fun ship or whether it be the laid back ship and anything in between. You know, we were kind of feeling a little more laid back this summer. So that is why we decided to do that. Plus, we wanted to really go to Alaska. So just to kick that off, Juneau, which was our first stop, it was very great. It was, of course, when you go on cruise ships, they drop you off in like the tourist areas, so you don't really get to see like the actual, inner city and things like that. But what we saw definitely, as you guys, those of you that saw the video that we posted, we really enjoyed ourselves, So we got to try Tracy's Crab Shack, which was delicious. We're still talking about that to this day. And we're able to just go through various gift shops and just really explore. So for us, it was more so not necessarily what all we could do, but just to be in the atmosphere, just to say that we've gone. So we really enjoyed that. I like to say cruise ships. When you go on cruise ships and you go to these different stops, it gives you a taste. So you don't really get the 100% full experience of being there, but it gives you a taste. And that taste can lead to you going back and maybe staying in that city or whatever it may be. So that's why I really like cruise ships, because it gives you that taste and you don't have to be confined to that one area for the whole entire trip if you don't want to. So Juneau was definitely good. Alaska is Alaska, it's kind of the home of the fresh seafood.
Yeah.
So we really enjoyed that. I think the next day was Skagway. Now Skagway was pretty interesting. It kind of put me in the mindset of like, and you can jump in when you feel the need, but it kind of put me in the mindset of like a Wild Wild West type, old cowboyish type city. It was pretty cool to see, just to experience, but it wasn't necessarily my cup of tea, but just to get kind of like the imagery and just to be able to go see and just to say that you've been there, that's definitely worth its weight in gold to me. It wasn't really much to do there though.
Yeah, Skagway was the type of place where you had to do an excursion, or you were just going to be looking around, kind of like we were doing. Yeah, I would say Skagway is definitely a place to do an excursion, because with Juneau, even though they drop you off into these tourist areas and you have to do an excursion in order to see out more, I feel like with Juneau, I was fine with not doing the excursion there, because we did the Tracy's Crab Shack, and there was just a lot to see. They also had that cable car that if you didn't have an excursion, you can get on that cable car and you can do a trail up above us, which was really nice. We didn't get the opportunity to do it, but we were so stuck on Tracy's, we couldn't do it. So we didn't have enough time.
And they also had that train that you could get on as well in Juneau. And I think it was like a maybe 3-hour train ride or something like that.
Like each stop had a train ride.
Each stop had a train ride. And with the train ride, it just kind of takes you around the city just to kind of show you the different landmarks. And I believe there was like the actual driver of the train also maybe was on the intercom system, just giving you different like facts and things like that about the city. So that would be a great thing that I would really recommend. We didn't do it, but just hearing people's experiences that were on the ship that did do it, they all had really good reviews about it. So I would definitely say that's something that you want to do, just to kind of get that overview experience. I don't necessarily see myself being on a train for 3 hours. So I'm more of a guy that has to be active. I want to do something, So if I'm going to spend my time 3 hours doing something, it has to be like interactive, me moving around and things like that, versus just sitting, But some people, some of our, subs out there, or anyone who's viewed our videos, that may feel that that's for you, So if that's for you, I would definitely say do it, just because you're going to get that whole overview. You're going to get different facts and things like that about the city. So I think it'd be a pretty cool thing to do. It's just not for me.
All right. Do what's for you. Like when you're looking at these excursions, find what you like to do. You don't have to find what we like to do. What we like to do may be completely different. So yeah, it's just really to each its own. But with Skagway, I would definitely recommend doing an excursion. So moving on to Glacier Bay. Glacier Bay was beautiful. It was supposed to be like, what was it, like 10 to 3 or something along those lines. I didn't really catch it at a full mouth, but it was something like that, 10 to 3. So you woke up in the morning. Well, we had a balcony, so we were able to look out of our balcony. We saw the glacier. We saw like ice. We saw a mini avalanche happen.
Yes.
We saw a family of bears fishing. Like all these different things you get to see, and it's not a stop. It's more like a drive-by type of thing.
Exactly.
But it's a beautiful drive-by.
Right.
And so when you're booking your cruise, there's an Alaskan Cruise without Glacier Bay, and there's an Alaskan Cruise with Glacier Bay. So if you notice in our videos, you saw the Norwegian Joy. We were kind of like trailing the Norwegian Joy. They left a day before us, and they ended a day before us, but they did not go to Glacier Bay, so that's why we chose the Bliss, because they were going to Glacier Bay. So we would have chosen the Joy, because the Joy is just a year older than the Bliss. They're basically the same ship. But yeah, so that was just simply beautiful. It's just really a sightseeing type of thing. And there was a woman on our intercom and on our TV that was basically giving us an audio tour of the place. So it was really nice.
Well, yeah, I really enjoyed Glacier Bay. Although it wasn't an actual stop, it was just the observation of us being able to see actual glaciers, besides seeing them on TV. So actually being up live in person and seeing them. Definitely, as you can imagine, with it being June and the weather being a bit warmer, the glaciers really were beginning to melt. So again, those of you that seen our video, you definitely saw just the uniqueness and just the beautiful picture, that it was really trying to paint. I really just enjoyed and I wish we were able to get off and touch it, but it was definitely a beautiful sight to see. So with the Joy not seeing Glacier Bay, that was kind of another selling point for us when we chose the Bliss. We was like, hey, let's try to get all that we can, get out of this trip. So I think it was maybe a little bit extra to go through that to see Glacier Bay, but it was definitely worth the money, because at the end of the day, it's the experiences and the memories that count. So we wanted to just get all that we can get and all that we can see. So we really enjoyed that, just being able to walk outside our own balcony, not having to go up to the common area decks where everyone else was, just to get that that quality alone time to just view it, take pictures, and not feel rushed by others trying to take pictures behind you. So that's why, again, if you see yourself fit, I would definitely say try to get the balcony for different adventures like that, so you can just walk outside at your own leisure and just be able to see those things.
Yeah, if you're in that, right? We understand that the balcony on some cruises, we do understand it's a bit pricey. We definitely understand that. But some cruises, they're reasonable. So just keep checking those prices, and if you're able and willing to do a balcony, we would definitely recommend a balcony for an Alaskan cruise. It's beautiful. Just to walk out and be able to see the mountains with the snow on it, or the glacier, or whatever the case may be. See the whales.
Right.
We saw a lot. So it was beautiful. For it to just be literally at your fingertips. You don't have to go all the way. Just put your clothes on, go upstairs. I was on the balcony in my pajamas.
Yeah.
So moving on to Ketchikan. We did do an excursion at Ketchikan. It was fun. So
it was.
We did a wildlife excursion, and I forget what it was called. Sea Lodge Adventure and Sea Feast. That's what it's called. And so what we did, we got on a boat and we basically toured a little bit of Alaska. So we got to see bald eagles, we got to see otters, we got to see all these different things in the water, and then we moved on to the rainforest. So we went in the rainforest, walked around, got to see the different types of trees and different things like that. And then we did basically a boil. So that was the sea feast.
Yes.
And there were mussels in there, shrimp,
sausage,
potatoes, corn, onions, garlic. Am I missing something?
Did you say onions? Onions.
And then they give you garlic bread and a cookie at the end.
Yeah, plenty of cookies.
Yeah,
at
plenty
the
of
end.
cookies. But what they do, so it's 8 people to a table. And we have 4 people in our party. So they just dump it all on the table. You're sharing with your neighbors. You might not know them. And so you're able to eat the bowl and whatnot. They have tongs for you, the bibs, all that kind of stuff. So we were eating good. The only thing I would say about that is I don't think it was enough.
It wasn't.
For 8 people. That's a lot of people with a boil. And like we were here with people that were, I mean, they were killing it.
Seafood lovers.
They were seafood lovers.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that it was enough for 8 people. Now everybody in the excursion did not have 8 people at their table. So if you get the excursion, try to find a table with less amount of people so you can get more for your money. Because that was the only thing that I didn't think we got what we should have gotten for the amount that we paid. So definitely if you get that, it's some good eating on there, but be strategic about who you sit with.
Exactly. And then we also saw some deer.
Oh yeah.
We saw a few deer there.
So on that excursion, you just gonna see a lot of everything.
See a lot of everything. A lot of everything.
So that was a good excursion to do. They have, oh my gosh, Alaska has so many different excursions, and that's just one out of the many. So again, find what fits you.
Yes. We got back on the ship from Ketchikan. Was that the same day I was on Dylan No Deal?
Yes, that was.
Yeah, so
he was a star that day.
So that was a pretty interesting situation. So we purchased our cards, and we had 2 cards. Like they have different deal packages that you can purchase. So we just went with the cheapest one. We was like, let's just see, because I think they had already done maybe like 3 or 4 games throughout the cruise, and this was like supposedly the last game they were going to play that we thought. So we got our cards. I think we had to get down there like maybe 30 minutes before the game actually started to go ahead and get the pre-sale cards. Excuse me. So we got the cards. We're playing. I think the first game had going on. I think the lady won like 50 cents or something. It was something like ridiculous.
And she could have won like, I think her jackpot was like $700 or $800. And she walked with 50 cents.
It
was bad.
So during that game, I'm just like, oh wow, like this is terrible. So I think they did 2 games throughout the time that they were allotted. So they were trying to choose the next person, so I'm not even paying any attention. I'm like, and I think that lady's card number was maybe 2 or 3 numbers away from our card number. So I'm like, it's no way they're gonna choose another card number, within that sequence, at in that close of proximity range. All I hear was she hits me. She was like,
yeah, they broke it down. They broke it down where like it's like scrambling, right?
yeah.
So then they hit one number, they're still scrambling. Then they hit the second number, they're still scrambling. So I think it was like 5 numbers. They hit the third number, still scrambling. So I'm like, okay. So then our last digits were 84 and 85. So then they hit an 8. So I'm like, oh shoot. And then they said 5. And I said, like that. And I'm like,
my head is down, so I'm just looking. I'm not even looking at my card. I think I was maybe on my phone or something. I'm not even looking at my card. So he says, Derek H. And I'm like, what? So I jump up, and I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on? So like at that moment, I was like extremely nervous / excited. I guess that'd be the best way to really describe the feeling. So as I go up there, he tells me to say my name and where I'm from and all that good stuff. And I'm just shaking the whole time. It was crazy. And you don't really think that you'll be nervous in a situation like that, but it was so many people there. And
it was packed. Oh my gosh, it was a lot. It was a lot of people. After that happened, he was like a star on the ship. Everybody was calling his name.
Yeah.
It was so funny. They were like, "Good job, man. Good job." You know, everybody. And they recognized me because I was the one filming. So they're like, "Hey, wife," you know, whatever. They don't know my name, so they're like, "Hey, wife, congratulations on the win." And so it was just a good time.
It was
but
just
I
a
hope
good time.
he had a good time
Yeah,
up there.
and I mean, of course, as you guys probably would have liked to have won, but of course I would have liked to have won the 1500 or the 1200. But at the end of the day, again, as I've said before, it's just really the experience. And I did walk away with something. I did walk away empty-handed. But it was just the experience, not really. And I think that experience put the experience of the cruise on top for me. It was already very enjoyable, but I think doing that, because I've never been in that type of limelight before, especially on a cruise ship, especially because a lot of the things like that are random selection, and I was actually chosen. So I would definitely say that experience is going to, it may be my overall Richter scale for the experience may be a little biased because I did that, and those of you who may have done the cruise as well may not rate it as I would because I've had another experience that I can really rate it with, so that was out of this world. I'll never forget that moment, and it was awesome.
He's just happy that he was a star, y'all.
Yeah.
Don't pay him no mind.
I was. So, and then as far as just the overall, just the food and things like that, they had tons of options, to where if you wanted maybe some Indian food, seafood, if you're more of the American type, Asian, if you want American type, hamburgers, pizza, it's literally
chef's favorites. It was oh my gosh, it was just all types of food. And of course, seafood every day.
Seafood every day.
Which, excuse me, I enjoyed. That was the point of going on an Alaskan Cruise, to try as much seafood as possible. And they had that. They had it available every night. Not so much during the day, but definitely for dinner. They had it. So that's another thing about dinner as well. You do not have to go to the dining room to eat some dinner if you don't want to. I know on Carnival and Royal Caribbean, you have that set dining time where everybody goes to dinner at their time. With Norwegian, you can either choose to go to the dining room and eat off their menu, or you can go to the buffet and eat whatever their special is for that night. So just about every night was some type of seafood night, and so we had the dining room one time the entire week. After that, we were like buffet because they were having all types of seafood. So if you looked at our video on day one, we showed you what the dining room looked like. We showed you the food and everything like that. But after that, you keep up with our vlogs, you didn't see the dining room anymore. Because we did not go anymore. So, yeah. So, I mean, again, to each its own. If you want to go to the dining room, do that. Just look at the menu and see what they have and kind of go from there. But we, our hearts and stomachs led us to the buffet every night.
Yep. And just the different variety, and I mean, and really and the cool thing about the dining room, if you see, let's say you may look on the menu and you see a couple different things that you like, you're able to order that too. So you can order more than just one thing. So you don't have to, sum it down to, any, meeny, miny, mo, which one you want to choose. If you see, maybe you see lobster and you see salmon and you want both, you can actually order both of those entrees and they'll bring both of them out. If you see a couple appetizers that you may like, you can order both of those. If you see two desserts you may like, you can order both of those. So you're not limited to just ordering just one.
Exactly.
So that is the really cool thing. And that is the really cool thing.
She's like, what are y'all doing?
Yeah, she photobombed the video. But that was the really cool thing.
Video bomb the video?
Yeah, video bomb. So that's the really cool thing. And the buffet is just kind of all you can eat. So again, it's your choosing. I say check both of them out.
Yeah.
And I think this was the first cruise that we've been on where the buffet outshined the sit down as far as the offerings. Like normally the sit down has the better selection. You know,
Yep,
the buffet
that is
kind of repeats sometimes. You know, they have some stuff every now and then, but the
Not this
buffet
one.
was on point. On point.
We saw different things every day.
Yeah.
And that's what I really enjoy because I get tired of a buffet really fast on a cruise because you keep seeing the same things. But this one, no. Maybe like the Indian station or the Asian station, you see them rotating, if you will. But it's okay because you're like, oh, I really enjoyed that chicken.
Right.
Okay, they might have it in a couple of days, right? Versus you see it every day and you're like, okay, now I'm tired of that chicken.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it was nice.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that buffet
Yeah.
this time around. Because I normally pick over my food, so they talk about me all the time.
She does. She does.
This time I didn't really pick over it as much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't pick over that seafood.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
You know, but yeah, guys, as we wrap the video up, you know, we can just kind of give our own personal perspectives on it, just like an overall review. I just with the stops, the food, the excursions, and different things like that, I'll give it an 8.5 out of 10. And the reason I would do that is because, you know, I am more of a structured guy. And, you know, I like structure, and what the Norwegian is kind of freestyle, you know, which I knew that, you know, going onto the ship, because we went on a Norwegian branded ship once before, about maybe 4 years ago, you know, but I would definitely say the lacking piece of it is so freestyle that some of the communication gets lost. Like, you don't know what's going on all the time. Yeah, you have the pamphlet in your room, but I'm so used to them maybe announcing things on the, you know, overhead intercom, letting you know, kind of like as reminders and things like that. So, and that just may be a personal, you know, preference for me. But as far as the food was good. The excursions at the different stops seem to be pretty fair and even, you know, across the board. The stops were pretty good. I would definitely say Ketchikan is my favorite stop, just because we actually had an excursion. And then I would say Juneau would be second. And then Skagway was okay.
Yeah, Skagway was my least favorite.
That was definitely my least favorite. But overall, just the hospitality was great. We had there was a very great chef that was on board. We actually made a friend in him.
Yeah.
He came and talked to us just about every day, because when we first got on there, we had our Game of Thrones t-shirts on, and he like instantly connected with us after that. So he was very friendly. Our cabin steward, Lito, shout out to Lito.
Yeah, shout out
Lito
to
was
Lito.
awesome. You know, he shared with us, you know, his picture of his family. We just really had some great talks and discussions with him.
Yes.
So it's things like that I really enjoyed. So some of the things that I would definitely remember about this ship and some of the people that we met.
Yeah. If you're ever on the Norwegian Bliss, tell Lito we said hey.
Yeah.
And tell Chef Nicholas we said
Nick.
hey.
Yeah.
All right, until next time, it's been a pleasure.
Out.
Hope you all enjoy this. If you have any other questions, please comment down below.
Amen.
We are happy to answer any other
Yes.
questions that we didn't get in this video.
Yes.
Bye.